Hi, friends. Welcome. Hello. It's time to create and connect with Pink Press Studios Craft Hour. I'm your host, Jeff Lindberg, and my goodness, I have missed you. Of course, it's good to see all of you. I'll be checking the comments and I'll be looking for Heather to tell me that we're all set and we're broadcasting live. But my goodness, it's fun to create, connect, and maybe Christmas because we get the honor of premiering a brand new set for you today. Heather says we're broadcasting live. Heather, my moderator in the sky, joins me today. You'll be connecting with her in the comments. And what a pleasure it is to see each of you. Amanda Panda's here. Audrey O is here. Nancy Roth, which is great. Lisa Kinnear is here. All the friends that are typically joining us. It's so good to see you. So today's guest is going to help us go a little rustic for a brand new premiere set that is happening coming soon with Pink Fresh Studios' newest holiday releases. So be sure to check the comments as Heather explains details about that. But we always love having trial and fun with all of our new products. Today's guest is Nichol Spohr. We'll bring her on in just a few minutes, but we got to know, are you here just because Nichol is someone you love? I certainly do. I consider her a friend, a mentor, and I certainly have watched her for many years as I built my craft journey. So if you're here for Nichol, put a little NS in the comments. We want to know who's here just because Nichol's here. And if you're new to Craft Hour in general, just an N or say new. We also want to know who's new and comes to join us, whether you're watching in a replay or you're watching us live. And be sure to participate in the comments, because as you know, the more that you play in the comments, the more you have a chance to win a gift card for this release that's coming up soon. Well, I know that you don't come here just to see me, but I've missed you all so much. You know, we've got the house renovations. I hope you're following along on my Instagram as we redo the kitchen and the bathroom. We're doing a lot here. So we're going to have sporadic craft hours. But today is important. We're glad to be back. Please, please connect and let us know. The last action I have for you before we get started, make sure you give us a thumbs up. There's so many of you here, 58 of you. So we'd love to see 58 thumbs up, 58 ways of you connecting and telling people, maybe via Instagram, that you're watching the show. You know, it helps us do a lot more on Instagram and YouTube, which is awesome. Sarah, I'm so glad that you're new and welcome to the show. And people are agreeing that Nichol and I are a great combo. I could not agree more. So why don't we take a time to bring her to the show as well? It's my honor to bring my special guest for today's Back to Creating and Connecting Craft Hour, Miss Nichol Spohr. Hi, Nichol.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
You know, people know you so well through all of the work that you do for all the other companies. And you, of course, have many channels and ways that people can connect. Can you remind us where people can find you?
Sure. You can find me at Instagram at Nichol Spohr. And I do have a Facebook fan page, so you can find me there as well, although I'm not as active. Instagram is probably the best avenue. And then, of course, my YouTube channel.
Oh, I love that. And again, we'll close out and share all the places that you can find Nichol later on in the show. And if you are new to Craft Hour because of Nichol, we're here almost every other Saturday. We try 12 noon, where we create and connect, but we also chat. It's not just about making products with Pink Fresh Studios. It's about building the community and having fun and getting to know great artists like Nichol. And don't worry, everybody. Yes, I see in the comments, Hazel Harper is here. She's right under my desk, making sure that she is ready to defend us from the mailman at any minute. It always happens during the show, so I'm sure she'll be making a cameo as well. So Nichol, we have a fun thing that the leadership team at Pink Fresh asked us to do, and that was to enjoy a sneak peek of some holiday products that are coming out very soon. And I always send my guest host a little pitch about how we're going to work through the technical side and make sure that you're all set. But you mentioned that I said something about what you're designing today, and could we not do something? Can you reveal a little bit behind the curtain what I was asking and what you thought we should do today?
Yes. So Jeff asked me if I would concentrate maybe on breaking away from the Pink Fresh signature kind of colors of corals and aquas and golds. And I decided, let's do a little rustic kind of Christmas today, kind of sneak peeking some of these new products. They are so beautiful. And we're going to include a little foiling, so it won't be super rustic. It'll still have a little of that, flair to it, I guess you want to call it.
Yeah, I love it. So why don't you go ahead and show us on your front-facing camera what we're headed for today?
Okay.
Look at that beauty. Just from afar next to the beautiful Nichol Spohr, it looks like we're going to have a fun day today, which is awesome. We love Pink Fresh Studio and what it brings, but I hope that this show also connects the versatility of the product. And with Nicole's artistry, we certainly can make that today. So Nichol, I'll connect with the audience for just a second and you can switch your camera and we'll get ready to get started on our project. Sound good?
Yes.
Awesome. Again, everybody, you're watching the Craft Hour. Thanks so much for giving us a thumbs up. I would love to see those thumbs up. And with 100 of you watching right now, most of you here just for Nichol, it would be great if you shared that you were watching us. You know, it helps Pink Fresh Studio and the craft industry continue to be at the forefront of YouTube, which I know you love watching, which is great. And again, so excited to head to our desktops today and take a look at a way to pivot just a little bit from classic Pink Fresh Studio style and move it forward. And don't forget, later in the show, we'll talk about an amazing virtual series that's happening. It's one of the first and fun. And we have so many card makers lined up and great Pink Fresh Studio style. So we'll tell you all about how to connect with the virtual event that we have coming up with Pink Fresh Studio just a little bit later. Oh my goodness, you're all so excited. So why am I still talking? Let's get down to it. You don't need me hosting the show. We need to start making a card. So let's put you back in gallery view. I'll switch my camera and we'll start to review the products that we're going to be using today. All right, so there they are. Nichol, let's start with the fact that we're headed into Craft Paperville. That's the basis. You reminded me during rehearsal about why using craft as the base of everything we do. What does that help preserve? Teach us one more time.
I really felt like because I'm stenciling on craft today and I wanted to foil on craft, I felt like if I pulled in some white, it was really going to be distracting. Like if I stenciled this pretty wreath on white, and I will show you, I did stencil it on white. I'm off camera first. It's beautiful. It's going to give you a little bit more of a maybe traditional or modern look rather than the rustic, which is what I feel like the craft does. But I really love to challenge myself with trying to stencil on a colored cardstock because I think you get some really fun, different looking results.
I agree. And that white space is good for a lot of the products we do, but what a way to change it up just a little bit, which is fantastic. We just want to remind everybody that we're getting to play with a product that premieres September 6th. So don't go rushing to make your Christmas wishes come true just yet. We're going to show you all the good things that can come out with this September 6th release. I am a Spellbinders fan. They are very kind to me. So I have Spellbinders in order to foil it up today. What do you do, my friend?
I also use Spellbinders. They are my favorite. They have also been very, very good to me. And so I really prefer their Glimmer Hot Foil system and their foils. They're really beautiful.
Awesome. If I would have taken the time to be a good host and look, it's right there on the camera shot. People are wondering, Jeff, do you not have your glasses on? I do. All right, let's go ahead and turn our machines on. I'm going to have mine getting warmed up. And let's review just a little bit. Mine aren't in pretty packages anymore, but premiering soon is Diagonal Stripes, this beautiful candy stripe-like foil set. Oh my gosh, we can use this beyond holidays, though. It has a tremendous versatility. Can you imagine a great birthday card or a celebration card with different colors? You can have a lot of fun with that. We'll also be using the coordinating hot foil set for Perfect Sentiments Holidays, which, by the way, also comes in its classic stamp form. And we decided today to do it. You can see I've jumped ahead a little bit just for the studio audience, just in case my hosting duties take me away, but we're going to try to foil that live on camera today. But the main star of the show that you all oohed and ah and got excited about was this. It is our new poinsettia high quality stencil. And we just want to let you know that this one is going to be the star of the show. And we're only going to use a portion of it. Again, demonstrating versatility and options. Today's colors, will you run us through them, Miss Nichol, and then we can get started.
I'm sorry, you want me to run through the ink colors?
Yes, please.
Yes. So for the poinsettia, we're going to be using Berrylicious and Candy Apple. For the greenery, we're going to use Olive and Evergreen. And those are our stenciling colors. And then when we take that poinsettia stamp set, we're going to be using some gathered twigs because there are some nice little twig areas and detail that you just don't get with the stencils. So we're going to use a colorful ink then to stamp that detail in and finish off our wreath.
Awesome. Sounds like a plan. All right, my friend, let's make sure that you are unpinned and we will go ahead and get started. So tell me, where do you like to start when we're building this particular project?
I almost probably 95% of the time start with my background,
Okay.
especially since we're foiling and we're foiling live. I think we
Yeah.
will start with all of our foiling today. I am still kind of waiting on my machine to get all the way warm. It's probably almost there,
Sure.
but
Me too. Totally. Don't panic. I'm there too.
perfect. I have a few things I have learned or things that work for me that I'm going to share with you when foiling, especially a big background plate like this. And I know Jeff mentioned this is good for all kinds of seasons. I love a diagonal, and a diagonal is going to be super forgiving because it's not going to be super noticeable if you get it a little crooked. I really prefer when I am foiling something big like this, I am actually going to start with a little bit bigger piece of cardstock than what I'm going to end up with. So this is
I love that tip. So sorry to interrupt.
no, go for it.
That I think is one of those things. First of all, I love the fact that's why we have guest designers on the show. We love great tips from people that have played with products and have kind of really felt out how to do this little thing called foiling, which is sometimes to some people can feel a little on the algebra level side. You get frustrated sometimes. But first of all, I can promise you this, that Pink Press Studio constantly is developing its products to be even better. And Nichol and I were commenting at rehearsal that this one went particularly well because we just think that the design and production continues to get fantastic on the products. So I agree. First tip, highlight that. Everybody get your highlighters out. I want to see them on your desk. Bigger piece of paper for your first foiling. Don't get frustrated by trying to bullseye directly on something that you may have to redo, and then you're going to give up too quickly on us, right, Nichol?
That is correct. So the next thing, or I guess what we're going to do next, I'm starting with 4¼ by 5½ inches. You could totally start with a much bigger piece. This is going to work. I trimmed my foil and I am using polished brass today. Gold would also be great. I just picked something that kind of had a gold tint to it. Whatever your favorite foil color is for your background, but overfoiling is kind of a pain. And so I generally like to trim it as close to size as possible. And I simply use my paper trimmer to trim that foil. I am then going to, you want the not pretty side to be next to the cardstock. That is what is going to foil. And then I'm just going to line it up with my background, place that shiny side to my foil plate, then the cardstock. And this is my other tip. I know that not everyone maybe wants to do this, but I tape it in place with a little Post-it tape or washi. It just helps it not move around in my machine. And if you really wanted to, you could tape it both sides. I found I didn't have to on my sample, but that's an option because our sandwich is going to be foil plate, foil, and then cardstock.
Fantastic. Tracking everything that you're saying. My hot foil machine is off camera, but here I'll pull out the Platinum 6 and start to get ready. I'm going to hit my timer. I think I'm ready to go on timer.
Well, mine is not. It's taking forever to heat up. Everything is hot, but we'll give it a second. I will kind of show you next.
Everybody, she's really just wanting me to foil and mess up live first.
Yeah, I am. No.
And then that way she feels better when she nails it out of the park. But I just want to remind everybody that she foils a lot more in life than I do. So just saying, Nichol, I know what you're up to. I know your antics.
Yes, you know me. Yeah, well, I told Jeff prior to the show that, and this hardly ever happens, you guys, but I foiled the background and the sentiment and nailed him the first time. Never happens.
That's a good feeling, though. I will tell you, I'm hoping for the same. All right, my timer is still clicking, so I'll go back down to my desktop and we'll see how we do.
Yay!
You know, the thing about your Post-it or posting or locking it down will help with that little pull out. The pull out always kind of shimmies things in the wrong direction sometime.
Yes,
Again,
it
though,
does.
if you're using that larger piece of paper, who cares? Remember, we're not aiming perfectly on the bullseye, and we're building our confidence just a little bit that way. All right.
Okay, I've clicked my timer, so I should just be a tiny bit behind you.
Do you
That's
do it
all.
twice? Do you do it twice or do you do it once?
I do it once and I roll it through slowly. That's kind of the tip that Spellbinders gave me. I found if I rolled it through twice, that sometimes it would shift and ruin the foiling.
All right. Here we go, everybody.
Let's all give Jeff let's hope he nailed it.
Yay!
It looks
totally
beautiful.
worked. See, again, now I'm okay. My former co-host Betty taught me this. I'm okay with wasting that paper. Nicole is conserving paper and I'm wasting paper, but I just have to have the confidence. And when you're first foiling, it's just paper, waste a little bit of it and save that scrap. My friend, go ahead.
I agree.
Go ahead.
No, I just was going to say, I completely agree. Waste that little bit of paper. You will be so much more happy foiling.
And you won't put away your foiling machine in frustration as quickly too. It'll make you breathe just a little bit more. I'm sure that Heather loves how much we're talking about how hard foiling can be. It's easy. It's totally fine. Everything's fine. No, we're being realistic. While we're waiting really quick, what should I cut this little guy down to? Are we doing a classic A2? What do I want to do here?
I trimmed mine to 4 by 5 1/4.
4 by 5 1/4. Okay.
All right, I foiled it. So now's the moment of truth, you guys. We're going to see if oh, that was a little warm. We're going to see what we end up with. Isn't that just so satisfying? I love it. And really, this foil piece is pretty.
What's even more satisfying is that you've already cut it down so you can see it. I, on the other hand, am having to go the back road just really quick.
So here we're just going to trim it to 4 by 5 1/4. And because I use such a small piece, I am not really going to have to trim off all that much, but I just go around. Since I used an A2 sized background, we're just going to trim that little bit off all 4 sides. Are you guys loving seeing the sneak peeks?
No, right?
El Kelly says foil reveal is like watching embossing powder melt, intoxicating. I love it.
I agree.
So here's kind of what our background looks like.
And I will tell you off camera, I totally cut it wrong, but I have one extra ready to go, which I will do in a little while, but we'll keep trucking. This is why we have extras, because I panic when I have to do numbers. All right.
So while
Math is hard, you guys. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I interrupted you. I was going to say, while we have our foil machine out, we're just going to go ahead and foil our sentiments. Now, the great thing about this new sentiment set, if you have perfect sentiments, you guys already know, they're amazing. So you're going to get way more than what you need. This is fantastic. If you want to make a bunch of backgrounds, you can just pop a different sentiment on each card and use them all. So it gives you a bunch all at once. We are going to be using the foil plate. And this time I decided to use red foil. And then I'm using, this is what Jeff was talking about, a much bigger piece of cardstock than what's needed. I will tell you, I learned the hard way with the perfect sentiments that it's a little bit longer than 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. So use that bigger piece of cardstock so you don't cut off one of your sentiments.
Perfect. And we love that the foil machine is probably a little more ready than it was before, which is good.
Yes, it is. We're going to get the kind of time-consuming part out of the way first.
I'm a little off camera, everybody, but I promise I'm trying it live in front of you. I hope everyone's having fun. Let's check in with the comments. We love, like you said, Lillian was saying, Lillian Friday, you have such an awesome name. Good for you. let's see. We also said best peaks ever from Julie, which is great. We have a couple of questions for Heather. Lori Spitzer is saying hi.
Hello,
Gosh,
Lori.
we're so glad that everybody's here. Welcome to the show. Again, with 163 of you, we'd love to see 163 thumbs up. That'd be awesome. And 163 of you sharing that we're live or that you can watch on the replay, which is great. All right, so my timer is going off. Waiting for that. And again, friends, we'll pick up just a little bit of speed in just a second. As she shared, this is the time-consuming part. Audrey loves the combo of the choices of gold and red together. Classic Christmas. I think it's going to be perfect too. I appreciate it. Kelly has also purchased the Glimmer machine, but haven't had a chance to use it yet. Oh my gosh, Kelly, don't feel bad. Aren't we all just all over the place right now? It's just one of those things where we can all relate.
So this is a good example. I did not cut my foil right around the Glimmer plate. So you can see already it's over foiled, which is okay. We're going to die cut this, so it's not going to make a huge difference here. But that's one of the things when you're foiling, if you want to cut your foil as close to the Glimmer plate as possible. And look at the red foil. Isn't that pretty? Yeah. Ooh, look at Jeff's.
And like we said, even overfoiling, first of all, we never want to panic about overfoiling because a simple eraser can tidy those up beautifully, which is going to be great.
And I'm going to show you something else I've noticed with sentiments. If you just take a dry kind of stiff paintbrush, if there is any overfoil, like in the center of the letter E or anything like that, oftentimes it's not stuck down and you can just kind of wipe it away. This one didn't have very much, but this is what I do. And then anything that's left that might show, you can use that eraser that Jeff was talking about.
It's going to be great. All right, let me find the sentiment that I want to use. I'm going to just get my little eraser out really quick. The Merriest Christmas looked like it turned out perfect. Is that what you used in the sample card? Forgive me, I forgot.
I did. I used Merriest Christmas.
Awesome. And friends, let's go ahead and take the moment to cut these out. I know that die cutting on craft shows is a little annoying, but we want to demonstrate how many sentiments you get for those massive holiday production card making sessions that you have. And as Nicole mentioned, my goodness, this helps get ahead of it based on the amount that you get.
So I like to tape my die in place. And I'm not going to erase anything until after I've die cut, because I don't think that I'm going to have any overfoiling in the actual die cuts. Isn't that pretty? I just love that you get so many with one foil and one die cut.
Yeah, mass producing can sometimes be challenging, but these products have made it very easy. All right. The grind of the machine happening on my end, and I'll be right with y'all.
I'd love to know how many of you guys have foiled before, or if you are excited to try foiling.
Yeah, or are we all stuck with our machines and haven't been trying to, as Wendy says, convince myself that you don't need one? Oh, Wendy, Pink Fresh is going to try to convince you that you do need one. Until I started working for them, I didn't know either, but I have had so much fun foiling. And by the way, as Nicole and I said, both of us have a chance to partner with our friends at Spellbinders. They make it so easy, and they have so many great products as well, but they pair so nicely with Pink Fresh products, which we love. All right. That Merriest Christmas is ready to go when we get over there, and I have lots of other options should I need them, which is great. So Valerie says she's an avid foiler, by the way, and Lindar says that she loves multiple words. Excited to try it, says Lori, and Stacy's tried it a couple of times, which is good. I think Stacy moved pretty fast. All right.
Yay.
What next, my friend?
Let's go ahead and do what everyone is so excited about, which is the beautiful poinsettia wreath. here, and this is from the poinsettia set. We are going to do our stenciling first. So I've just got a much bigger piece of craft cardstock than I need. And then I'm going to start with the stencils, and we're going to finish with the stamping. And the reason being is a lot of the stamping detail kind of goes on top. So I want to do this stenciling first. You'll also notice it's slimline, meaning we're not actually going to stencil everything today. If you wanted to, those extra pieces are fantastic if you want to make multiple different style of cards. And we are going to start with Candy Apple and Berrylicious. Berrylicious is actually up first. That's going to be our lighter of the two colors. And we're going to use stencil 1.
Oh my gosh, you're such a good co-host.
Oh,
Goodness gracious. Not saying anything bad about my other co-hosts, but oh my gosh, this is fantastic. Berrylicious first class. I hope everyone was paying attention. I was not, but now I am. Okay. Stencil 1, teacher, you said? Forgive me.
Stencil 1.
All right.
This is a
Friends.
5-pack of stencils. I'm sorry, I interrupted you again.
No.
I was just going to mention it's a 5-pack of stencils, but that second, the number 2 stencil is for a design further down here. So we're not going to be using the number 2 stencil today.
All right. And I am hitting each of the larger poinsettias right now.
Yes, we're just going to do these kind of in the upper part.
Okay.
I think it's 5. Yep, 5.
So Nicole, during rehearsal, we were talking, I hope my microphone is close enough to my face, everyone. We were talking that I don't typically, ink on colored cardstock. We get so used to colored cardstock. I'm sorry, on white cardstock is what we mostly do, right? So what do you have any tips here? Because I'm noticing that I'm seeing more craft coming through. Do I use a heavier hand?
You can use a little bit heavier hand. If you wanted to have a little bit more of that rustic appeal, you definitely don't have to. I left a few little lighter areas and then some darker areas, but it's kind of whatever you prefer. I love stenciling on colored cardstock. You're going to get better results the lighter the cardstock you use. But I told Jeff prior to the show as well, if you want a little bit more of a modern look, I think stenciling on a light gray would be super elegant, and maybe doing silver foiling, silver and red foiling would be beautiful.
Yeah, and that's something I just would never have kind of thought of, And again, that's what I love about Craft Hour, is that we have conversations that aren't so neat pressed, showed, edited, and done. Many of our crafters have to produce for quick quick videos that have a certain length to them. But I love at Craft Hour, we take the time to be vulnerable and, ask ourselves questions. I did overfoil just a little bit, but we're going to cut. I'm not overfoil. I did over paint on that side, which is not great, but
I think you'll be fine.
We'll be fine.
Okay,
everybody, we're going to be fine.
The next thing we're going to do is use stencil 3. And because I'm not using these super handy little guidelines that Pink Fresh does for us, just because I'm using a bigger piece of cardstock, it's actually super easy to still line it up. So I just kind of take my stencil, and I feel like this big poinsettia right here is a great little point to line up. So I'm just going to take that little point with the poinsettia petal, and I just kind of shift it around until I feel like I can just see craft cardstock and not really red ink. And that looks good. And we're going to use olive. That's our base color for the base of the leaves.
Can you do that one more time, but bring it closer to the camera for me, just for me, your co-host?
Yes. How about we just zoom it in?
Okay, let me get you back into view. I'll pin your photo so they don't hear my voice. Stand by.
Is that better?
It will be. I'm gonna pin you so that people can see you more than me. And let's say it one more time. Go ahead. Beautiful view. One more time.
We're just going to take this stencil, and then I feel like this little area right here lines up with this big poinsettia. So we're just going to go ahead and line that up. And then I just
Oh,
kind of look everywhere to make sure that it's lined up with a flower that's next to it. And then it should be good to
yes.
go. It's actually pretty easy. I was so pleasantly surprised. And then we're going to use olive ink.
Okay. Great.
And again,
You're right, because you're right. You can see for this style of project, again, the grid mark will help you on standard cardstock, but it perfectly can be found in the shadow. I got it. I see what you're saying. That made it much
yes,
easier. Okay, great.
good. I'm so glad because I knew that would probably be a little, it would have been easier if I'd used the right size cardstock. Sorry.
Right. No, no, I totally get it. Okay, so I'm hopefully back on camera and I will pull out the olive you said.
Olive is our base color for our greenery.
Okay.
And you might want to use a little bit heavier hand here as well to get some nice coverage over a colorful cardstock.
Okay. I haven't stenciled in a while, actually, so my brain is also trying to catch up to stenciling and not panicking that I'm. The whole point of stenciling is that it's covered. The places that I need to color are available.
How does everyone love the layering stencils? Aren't they addictive?
Well, it definitely makes you feel like a pro. The
Yes.
first time that I started using them, I was like, oh my gosh. Jeff needs to zoom on his desk, says Roberta. All right, Roberta.
The Delta Crafter says, good job, Jeff.
Oh, thanks, Delta Crafter.
I recognize so many of you from my channel. It's so good to see everyone today.
All right, Roberta, just for you, I'm going to try to figure out how to do this on a program that we have to use in order to bring you this shot. But I think that, Roberta, that was for you, but that's all you get, my friend. It's all you get because I got to keep moving. All right, let's do a little time check, Lady NS. We're at 12:33, so we are trucking along. So how did you start? Yeah, how did you start on your craft journey? And have you ever looked back at one of your first projects, laughed, been proud?
Oh, there's been a lot of laughing.
Yeah.
I started out as a scrapbooker and did that for many, many years. And then kind of gradually as my children got older and weren't so interested in having their faces on the internet, and I wasn't that interested in having their faces all over, I kind of transitioned to card making and I have never looked back, but I do laugh at some of those first videos. They're terrible. And first cards, awesome. They're terrible.
Okay. I am trying to think ahead on something. I'm not going to panic about it yet. We're live. It's fine. Let's move over to our next stencil. Which one are we doing?
Okay, stencil 4 is next, and we're going to do the second layer of greenery. And just like before, it kind of naturally will, like these leaves right here, will line up with this guy. And I just kind of try to find some, yeah, there we go. So I try to find like this big flower again is a great point because it really just lines up. And then I'll just kind of gently rock it until I get it lined up with everything. And stencils, you can be a little, you know, they're pretty forgiving. So once I have that lined up, I'm ready to do my darker color, which is evergreen.
And I should see some of our olive, right? Some are going to be on top of.
Yeah, we're going to be stenciling a little bit on top of, but there's going to be and a lot of too. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Great. Okay.
So then I'm just going to, and I use a pretty heavy hand with this step because anything that I'm stenciling the evergreen on top of the olive, I wanted to show up.
Great.
And then I just want to make sure that I hit all of those open areas. And there we go.
Nicole, to tell you about my pre-thinking and to reveal to the audience, and we'll be fine because Nicole and I both got the same package, is that I don't know where my die cut for this is, but I'm going to look under my desk and find out, because I just realized we're die cutting this wreath out, right?
We are, yes.
Yep.
Because I don't think you want to fussy cut it.
No, ma'am, I do not.
I always tease my audience. So if anybody's here who has followed me, that fussy cutting is not my favorite. And you guys probably know that because I say it a lot.
Boo, fussy cutting. Okay. There, sometimes I work for our friends over at scrapbook.com on their podcast, and they had a guest that we interviewed where her name was Taji, I believe. And her husband, which she calls Mr. Taji, he totally will watch his TV shows while she crafts, and he loves fussy cutting all of her products.
No way.
So she has like a fussy cutting husband. Let me just tell you all something. Dan Lovelet is not going to sit there and fussy cut for me. I just can tell you that right now. Okay. We've got one more to go, right, my friend?
Yep, we have stencil 5, and this is going to add the detail to our flowers, and then we are going to stamp this and die cut. So again, I felt like this one was pretty easy to line up. We're just going to try to find those little areas. And then it's always good to just double check through your stencil and make sure that there's open spots where they're supposed to be. There's going to be some layering of our poinsettia. And then we're going to use some candy apple. That's going to be our deeper, darker red this time. And go ahead and add those berries and the detail to our poinsettia.
Perfect. And we're, no matter how skilled you are, it does take just a second to line it up perfectly, because you can see where the designer wanted, and I will get the designer. This one is designed by Ina Morova, and where she wants that shadow to go. It just takes a minute for you to triple ensure it. So that's what I'm focusing on.
Yes.
And you said we're headed to candy apple this time, right?
We are.
Okay. And we're doing heavier hand here?
I used a much heavier hand again because I really wanted those dark shadows to show up and be much darker than the first layer. So as pretty as this is all stenciled, I am going to hold up this while Jeff is finishing stenciling. And you can see the extra little detail, I hope, that stamping adds. That's why we're going to go ahead and add the stamping, because I love the little like twigs or branches and then the details for like the evergreen. I think it adds a lot.
All right, I'm almost with you. I just want to do a heavier hand just to be sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell me about, because we have so many people. First of all, if you have questions, please ask questions to Nicole and we'll find them. But we have so many mom and dad crafters, mostly mom, I get it, #DudesCraft2, who are dealing with being a mom in 2020, 2021 through a pandemic. So the question, Nicole, how are you doing, sister? You hanging in there? What's it like to be a mom right now?
It's good now that he's back to school.
Yeah.
High school is hard. I mean, if we were doing kindergarten, I think I could have handled it.
Right.
It's been so long since I've had like algebra.
Right.
Last year was so tough. But yeah, he's thrilled to be back in school. It's good. But yeah. It's been hard. I know so many, we're all in the same boat. It was hard.
Okay, so we're getting out the matching stamp set for this, right?
We sure are. And you guys know when these big guys come right off the sheet, it can be kind of hard. I always just try to hold down. Well, I zoomed in so much. I try to hold down this as I'm pulling So it doesn't curl too bad, but it is so cool. So we're just going to take this and line it up. Luckily, this is probably quite a bit easier, and I'm sorry if my head gets in the way. But
Well,
I do
what
want
I'm sorry about is that I clearly don't have the product right in front of me. Oh, I hit it under the, okay.
Oh no, did you find it?
Yeah, here we go. All right, because I know that my team at Pink Fresh always takes care of me. I was losing my mind, but that's what you have when you have 14 technical things in front of you to produce a show like this. Okay.
And
Oh,
by
this
the way,
smells.
everyone, Jeff does an amazing job at all the technical stuff. He walked me through a little troubleshooting earlier and was amazing.
All right, and you're right. I got to get the big guy out. So stand by.
And that is something I do want to mention. Honestly, I'm using the regular Misty, but if you like, you can see it's going to stick off this down the bottom here just because of where I positioned this guy. That's kind of my fault. If you have a memory Misty, which is the big one, it's probably going to be easier for a big stamp like this, but I promise I did my sample with the regular and it worked just fine. But keep that in mind if you're going to stamp the whole thing at once. I'm going to participate in the blog hop when this release comes out, and I'm going to show this again in a different type of card. And I will show using this in the memory Misty just so that you can see the entire thing stenciled and stamped and die cut.
Friend, this I can already see some beautiful shadows and reasons why you want to go this extra detail. I sometimes skip this step on stencils, which is totally fine. But you're right, as even before I add this next color we're about to add, I can tell why you creatively wanted to take this step. You know what I mean?
Yes. In fact, I was really only going to do stenciling, but I was like, where's the rest of the detail? And I realized it was in the stamp. So for this, we're going to use gathered twigs. You could use black if you wanted to, but again, I was trying to go with a rustic feel, so I opted for the brown.
And Mr. Lindbergh has not used this one in a while, so stand by. We're going to get another magnet out because I thought I lined it up perfectly and then my pull away happened.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
It's even more fun, friends, watching when we're doing it in front of all of our friends on camera.
Yes,
super
it is.
Exciting with no chance to edit. It's super exciting. Makes you feel real good.
And I hope
we can all relate.
Yes, everyone can relate. And you see me make mistakes on my lives all the time.
Yeah, tell us about your live schedule. Tell us where we can see you.
Yes, right now I go live on YouTube every Friday morning at 9 a.m. Central, so 10 a.m. Eastern. I also try to throw in some evening lives now and again. Sometimes I have to reschedule or whatnot, but that is my current schedule, is to go live at least once a week. Next week, I will be going live twice. We'll have our regular Friday, but I'm also going to go live on the 1st and kind of do a Q&A about Stamp Timber at Simon Says Stamp. So
awesome. That's right. Stamp Timber is coming up. And of course, Pink Fresh Studio is heavily involved with that. Hey, Mindy is here. Mindy, I'm so sorry I haven't seen you right away. It's sometimes hard to moderate as well. She said that she's got plenty she could be doing, but she missed it all because she would rather come watch us.
Well, I am glad Mindy's here.
Yeah, we have to get Mindy here on the craft hour too.
That's just what I was going to say.
Yeah. Okay, so cute. All right, there's that rustic side coming out with the brown. Awesome. Okay.
And then we want to take the coordinating die and we're going to die cut it. I know there's going to be a lot of excess. Actually, if I don't want to waste all this cardstock, I'll do what Jeff did, which was smart, and trim away that extra. And then we're just going to line this up and die cut. Now we are going to have an extra little piece in the center that you can use. If you wanted to, you could layer it on the wreath, or you can use it on another card.
And we can see exactly what Nicole was talking about and how that white cardstock would have given our rustic feel a very different punch to it. Not that it's bad, and it certainly has its place, but I'm going to challenge myself to try to do more on colored cardstock. I think it's a way to get more versatility out of your products and look a little different when it comes to what you're producing.
For sure. What do you guys think? Isn't that wreath beautiful? I absolutely love, love, love this set. Let me see. I'm gonna. All right. How's it going, Jeff?
Good. Just peeling my wreath out real quick. She is. It's great. Okay.
So one thing that I love to do is I like to pop up elements on my card. And I wanted to show this while it's still flat. I've laid this wreath on our foiled background, and I think it needs that bit of dimension to help make it pop. So I hope maybe I'll hold it a little closer. That little bit of depth and dimension just really is I just like it a lot. Makes oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, makes our cards pop and gives some great dimension to it, right?
Exactly.
My friend, they want to know more about our craft cardstock that we're using. I'm using Nina, I think that you are too, question mark?
I am. I'm using Nina Desert Storm. It's probably my favorite craft cardstock. It also, if you love to color with colored pencils like Prismacolors or Polychromos, oh, it's so, so good. I really love it. It's a great cardstock and nice and flat. So if you stamp on it, it's not going to have like any texture on it. So it'll stamp beautifully.
Great. All right. What else was I pre-thinking that I need to catch up to you on? And that is my card. You'll remember I did not cut it correctly because I was panicking about math. Let me get you on the screen. I'll take myself off the screen and they can watch you. And I'm going to quietly do measurements, which always scares Mr. Lindbergh. And then he'll come back online and everything will be fine. All right, there you go. There's the pro on the shot. And I will cut mine down.
Well, I can't tell you guys how often I have not trimmed something correctly. So I was telling you about my son and the algebra last year. Yeah, all of math, not my friend. I wish it was. But yeah. And then I tend to go a lot of foam adhesive. You probably don't need this much. I'm going to tell you why I do this. I don't want any point of my image, in this case, the wreath, to like get flattened in the mail. So I want it all to be popped up. I used a combination of a couple of different sizes of foam adhesive for those skinnier spots. And then we just want to position it. I think I kind of did mine, oh, whoops, in the center. And just wherever you like that. And then I end up with these all over my house. I don't know about you guys, but those little backing papers from the foam tape, I find them in my shoes. I find them on my dogs. My boys have them in their fur. And then we're also going to pop up Merriest Christmas. I do want to show you something with that while Jeff is trimming before I attach it. So part of it is going to overlap our wreath. You may want to make sure that you don't have foam adhesive behind that. Otherwise, it's going to pop up kind of wonky. So you can see, I always like to lay it out first. So kind of here behind the C and then the S in Christmas, we don't want to put foam adhesive in those areas. Then
sorry.
Nope, go right ahead. Did you get your background?
Sure, everything's fine over here. There's nothing going wrong. Everything is perfect. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay.
The magic of camera.
It's exactly what you wanted it to be. It's not at all a different size, just to get the show on track. It's fine.
I love it.
All right. Are we applying? What are we doing, my friend?
Yeah, I did. I attached my wreath with foam adhesive.
Okay.
And then we can go ahead and do the sentiment as well. That's what I was just talking about, that we don't want to put foam adhesive back behind like the C or the S if you're using Merriest Christmas. I did want, if you use a different sentiment, some of these are going to fit right inside, and you won't, like Joy to the World would be pretty, and that wouldn't overlap really. So you could put foam adhesive under all of it. It just really depends on the sentiment you choose to use. You just want to be mindful to not put any foam adhesive where it's going to overlap the wreath. And I love foam adhesive. How about you guys?
It just gives a great dimension. You know, our Queen Laura Basson reminds us that dimension is life. She now sings it. She's going to have a single coming out soon with all of her little jingles that she's started to do, which is great. All right, slowly catching up there, which is good.
Oh, it's okay. The thing I told you guys not to do, I put a foam adhesive square right behind that S. So, but I moved it.
And I am going to go ahead and give this one just a little bit of a thicker 3M back to lift up deeper than I had originally. So let's do that. Does that make sense? What I just said? I have no idea.
Oh,
you guys, when you
yes.
Go ahead.
No, you're gonna. Are you going to lift it up a little bit more then?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Friends, I got to tell you, when you go on a little vacation mentally in the craft room, and your craft room is turned into a temporary kitchen, you forget things. It's like, but it's kind of like riding a bike. I'm getting back onto it, everybody. We're good. I'll be glad to be able to do more things. I'm trying to get my little stamp timber thing finished. Thank goodness they don't need much from me, just an example. All right, you went perfectly centered. Is that the magic of this?
I did go perfectly centered. Now you could put it anywhere you want to. One of the reasons is I did take a little sentiment from another stamp set. You don't have to. I love sentiment strips. So I thought that would be a pretty little extra step if you want to, but it's not necessary. It's beautiful as is.
Okay, great. All right, let me just get a little base going here just in case. So we are at 7 minutes to the finish line, and we still want to talk to Nicole and answer your questions and get back on our camera.
And
so tell us about yours. Go ahead. Tell us about your sentiment strip that you want to do one more time.
Oh, if this is completely optional, this is a sentiment strip from another new set. I'll just kind of give you a little peek. This is called, I'm so sorry, Thrill of Hope. There's also, I believe, a foil plate that matches this, but I thought the little from our home to yours would be the perfect little sentiment strip to pop underneath. And I did that on green because, again, I thought white would just take away from the design. But that's completely optional.
Great. And as you know, friends, I will make sure that I finish this, and we will both get it posted for you. We're going to add a bow at the end and maybe the sentiment like you shared as well. And I'll get this cleaned up for everybody and get it posted. All right. Well, that was fun. Let me come on and unpin you, and then we will talk to the camera and get some hellos out there to everybody.
Yes.
All right. Remove pin. Okay. Goodness, everybody. It's been a hot minute since I've hosted the craft hour. All right. And there she is too. Look,
Hello.
I got to tell you, when we produce these things, getting 2 camera shots, making sure that we're all here for you, it's a lot. And look at Nicole. She just clicked a button and she's already there. It's like she's been doing this every week. Those YouTube lives, my friends.
That helps, but Jeff was a fantastic. He gave me a great little tutorial on what to do this morning because it wasn't working.
Got to get that pep talk going. All right,
Yes.
let's get those questions, and let's get those social media things out of the way. I know you probably hate it when a host like me sit here and tell you all the things that you've got to do, but you've got to remember that we do this in order to build a community, and building that community gives you more things to participate in social media and YouTube. It teaches algorithms. So 190, 648 people are already playing this back. Take a moment to give us a thumbs up, even if you're watching in replay. We really appreciate it. So let's find out what some people say. If you have questions, will you list the products? Yeah, Terry will make sure that our amazing moderator in the sky, Heather, does that for us. What questions do you have for Miss Nichol? Nichol, when you think about how you keep up with your schedule of having, you said, a high schooler, which I can't believe, that's crazy town, and you have a deadline or two with the multiple companies that you work for, what are some secrets to your balance? How do you keep it all in balance? And don't say you don't do it, because you've got to, or you wouldn't have been as successful as you are.
I won't tell you that. There are some days that I am up late. I really try not to, though. Because I have a high schooler and he's playing football and the homework and all of that, I try to maximize working when he's at school. I also try to work ahead as much as possible. There are always those last minute things. If Mindy's here, she's probably laughing because we talk about it. But I really do try to work ahead. I try to batch my work. And that means I will do a bunch of card making and I film. And then I will do a lot of editing maybe the next day. And the next day I will do blog posts. So I'm not doing a start to finish, since my work really is the creation. And then it's the video and the editing. And then it's blog post and social. And I will try to plan that out ahead of time. So it is a lot of kind of planning it out. And I keep a planner and I what needs to be done.
Okay, I love that. So first of all, Renee, thank you for your nice comment. If I did craft hour every day and wore mouse ears every day, I would have less hair than I already don't have. So I thank you so much. I'm lucky to work for amazing leaders at Pink Fresh Studio that let the schedule come to us. We're going to have various schedules. We'll get those out to you ASAP. It really counts on the designers, because our designers are active people as well, working for multiple companies. So we actually negotiated with Nichol a long time ago just to kind of get her on the calendar. And same for most of our people that join us. It's one of those things where it just takes time to arrange. The stars align, if you will. Hey, we have a winner, Tammy. Tammy C, you have been so supportive to me, so supportive to many crafters out there. I'm so glad that you won today. Congratulations, Tammy. That's often the case where we see people who time and time again support us. We love that. That's fantastic. Okay, so don't forget that we have an amazing Create and Connect virtual event happening, and we want to see you all there. And so if you think about the designers that are available, it is one of those things where the product combination of what you get for the price point, plus the fact that the designers are there teaching you how to use this specialty product that is frankly not a reuse. It's perfectly made for this event. It's one of those things where you just can't pass it up. And you can find out more information on pinkfreshstudio.com. We have only 1 week to go. And I know that a lot of you are probably holding out to signing up for the event, wondering if Jeff Lindberg, host of the Amazing Craft Hour, one of your favorite hours on the internet, was going to be in the event. And I will tell you that my people talked to the Pink Fresh people, and I'm going to be there. I'm going to be hosting the welcome party. Come on. I may not be able to craft very quickly, but I can host something. And I hope that you'll join us. 1 more week to sign up. So please take the time to see those amazing, never before seen products, which are great. Leah in a former video on Facebook Live teased that to you. So take a chance to look at that. I think that one was on YouTube, actually. All right. Anything else for Miss Nichol, who had to wait through that product endorsement? And don't forget that it'll be recorded and available to play after you pay for it. So even if the dates don't work for you, you can still be there. Nichol, remind us, we found out about your new YouTube live schedule, but tell us again, all the places where we can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at Nichol Spohr. I do have a Facebook fan page also under Nichol Spohr. And then my YouTube channel, same name. So those are the best places to find me.
Awesome. And if you're new to me and you follow Nichol over to the show today, I'm Mr. Jeff Lindberg on Instagram. I love to create and connect with you by talking to you on Instagram, which is my really only platform. And of course, I host this show, and you can find out through Pink Fresh how to get a hold of me. And yeah, I would love to see you on Instagram. So come follow me as well. Well, friends, it has been an amazing craft hour. It was like getting back on a bike. I was a little rusty because I've missed you all so much, but Nichol made it a safe space with an amazing Christmas release that we can't wait to premiere to you September 6th. Nichol, I hope you have a fantastic Saturday. Got weekend plans? You doing good this weekend? You crazy?
It's kind of getting ready for Stamptember, so it might be a little crazy. We got a lot of video editing to do.
Awesome. Oh, my best friend Ben Rush is here too. Oh, Ben.
Awesome.
Oh, Ben. I love, and again, I always have to brag on him because he's an amazing theatrical designer, and he is the biggest fan. He supports me so much, which is awesome. All right, friends, thanks for joining the Craft Hour. Thanks for joining Nichol Spohr. Go follow her. Stamptember premieres with Simon Says Stamp. Pink Fresh Studio will be a proud part of it. Yes. And that means even more tutorials from Nichol as she helps us celebrate one of the biggest parties on the craft scene, Stamptember. Pink Fresh is proudly participating, so take a look out for that. Look out for this release September 6th, and we'll see you on the next Craft Hour. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Bye.